Today's video is about translation tests. So lately I've been taking quite a few translation tests in different fields, and they are game translation, IT translation, what else? Machine translation, post editing, and also I've taken a test about localization quality assurance, which was the hardest one, and man, it was really challenging for me, but it was fun doing that. So I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail in each one of them. So about the game translation test, so far I think I've taken 2 or the maximum would be 3 translation tests about games. And the first one was already in February, I would say. I found it through prozy.com. It was an online test, but I remember it was really messy because there were a lot of translators from different languages using the same place to translate the strings from English to whatever language they were translating into. So you could also see translations from Spanish, from Russian, and yeah, that could help you, and at the same time that could kind of get in your way. But I remember I tried doing that test, but I didn't get anything from it. So yeah, and the next test I can remember about games, actually a project manager found me on LinkedIn, and she was basically like, hey, I've seen your profile and you also work with games, and I'm a project manager at blah blah blah.com, and if you're interested in working as a translator for us, please contact me so I can further explain to you. I replied to her, yes, I'm really interested in taking that role. And then she asked for my CV. And then I sent her my CV and she answered me through email. She explained how it worked, that I should provide a copy of my passport or some kind of document like that. I don't remember now, to be honest. And then she sent me the test, and I had 1 week to complete and deliver it. And yeah, that was really challenging, but I remember I did give my best shot that I could, and it's been, I'd say, 1 week since I've delivered that test, and I'm still waiting for a reply. I guess I'll wait 1 week or 2 weeks before I ask her about if I'm still being considered for the position. And I've also taken IT translation tests. And man, IT, I had no idea that I was going to like translating IT stuff, like translating softwares and that kind of language, translating websites related to softwares. But translating IT is kind of more a direct style of translating things. And I had some trouble because there are a lot of terms in English that they're still used in Portuguese, even though they're English. And I was kind of like, should I translate that or should I keep the original? Then I had to do a lot of research and see which one is really used here in Brazil. And as I can remember, I've taken 2 translation tests about IT. And how did I manage to receive those tests? Well, I started applying to Chinese agencies because, sometimes translators, they usually don't go after Chinese agencies that much, as I can see here in Brazil. They prefer other countries. They prefer agencies from other countries. And they sometimes, people would advise you like, do not look for Chinese agencies or Indian agencies because their rates are really low. And I was like, do not look. Well, if they're telling me to not look for them, it's because people don't like going after them, right? And if people don't like going after those agencies, the competition the competitiveness in that environment is probably lower than other place. So it's like, yeah, that's where I'm going. And I started collecting their emails, and I separated a day that I would send a lot of emails to all of those Chinese agencies. And two agencies they replied to me. Uh, and both of them they sent me a test. Well, the first test I've received it was a really short test. They sent that to me through email itself, and I sent that to them, and they also said it would take 2 weeks to review the test. And I was like, okay. The next one, I guess it was something like that, but it was more a little bit bigger than the previous one. Then I've also taken a machine translation post editing test. So this one it was actually through the website of an agency where you created an account, and you would create an account at their platform, and they would have three different tests about machine translation in three different fields. One of them was correcting post editing text from documents. The second one was about products that they would sell on the internet and stuff like that. And the third one was a general one. And I've taken all of their tests, and they had like 15 questions, and you should choose which one was correct or which one was wrong. And I remember I got scores like something 13 out of 15, 7 out of 10, and something like that. But I haven't had any reply from that agency, and I guess it's been already a month. And lastly, we have the Lqa test. Man, this one was the hardest one. I can't get into too much detail because I had to sign how can I say? I had to sign a document attesting that I wasn't going to share what was inside that test, so I can't get into too more detail. And I remember I had 48 hours to deliver that test, and it was the one I really prayed sometimes. I would say it was kind of beyond my level, but I really did give it my all. So yeah, these were all the different tests that I've been taking lately. And now let's get a little bit more detail about those tests.